You're representing the people of Bideford. You know that the Little White Town tagline for Bideford is entirely based on houses and how they were painted. It has nothing to do with skin colour. Why do you want to change 150 years of gentle, sweet heritage involving the colour of houses because it's racist?
Good morning. Yes, I am the Conservative councillor locally for Bideford North, and I am an advocate for the town. And my own personal views is I don't want to see the sign removed, and I'm actually passionate. I love my town. My personal view, I'm passionate about the town. I do not want the sign to change.
So how many residents complained?
I've had a plethora of residents complain.
What's a plethora?
Goodly number of people. And if it's one person, one person's voice, if it's not one person's voice, if it's one person's voice, it's entitled to be heard. My job is just a tiny town councillor.
Mr McGeough, I totally get that, entitled to be heard, but changing the entire nickname of the town on one person's voice would seem extraordinary, because if I lived in Bideford, I'd think, well, I can get anything changed.
The motion I put to the town council was the words of the residents and the concerns that they raised to me. Now, I was mortified when it came to...
Now, you're saying residents.
Sorry,
so hang on,
no.
How many?
Can we clarify one thing here? I'm absolutely baffled, because I thought the motion you tabled to remove the sign said, following a number of complaints from parishioners, I propose that the words Little White Town are removed from all signs within the town and at the town entrances. Was that your motion or not?
That was a motion.
You just said the complete opposite. You just said you don't want that to happen.
No. Let me have my view. That's the motion I put forward on behalf of the people, because I'm there to actually represent.
No, you said following a number of complaints from parishioners, I propose, you, Dermot McGeough, I propose the words Little White Town are removed from all signs of the town and at the town entrances. You've just sat here and
your job, my job as a town councillor is the views of the public.
So you have proposed...
the views of the public.
So you have proposed that the words Little White Town are removed from all signs in the town.
This was the motion I put forward on behalf...
Have you proposed it or not?
This is the motion I put forward on behalf of the residents.
It shouldn't be a difficult thing, Mr McGeough. You proposed a motion that said, I propose the words Little White Town are removed from all signs. Did you do that or not?
This is the views of the residents who raised their concerns.
Did you propose the motion?
And the motion was put forward in my name because a resident can't put a motion to the table.
Did you propose the motion?
My name's on a motion on behalf of the residents.
So the answer is yes.
These are not my views.
Mr McGeough, so you're proposing a motion that you totally disagree with?
I'm putting motion to the table because, as a councillor, your opinion should not come into it. As a town councillor, you've got to represent views. So
you proposed a motion that the words Little White Town are removed from all white signs, even though you believe the complete opposite.
The motion went to the town council. Well, I just told you, Piers, but prior to that, didn't I? I said my views. I love the White Town.
Right.
I love Bideford.
Well, why don't you propose a motion to keep it there?
The motion in there went to the town council, and the town council actually debated not to remove the Little White Town sign.
But the reason this is
they amended it. They put a motion to amend it to say Charles Kingsley.
I get it. I know what happened. What I'm baffled about is how this has ever come to be debated. It's utter lunacy.
And
the reason it's become debated is you're the person who proposed the motion. I know it's frustrating for you. You're the bloke who proposed the motion.
Mr McGeough, I haven't established yet how many people complained. If you're doing something which you don't believe in, but it's triggered by complaints, how many have to get you to do something that you don't even back yourself?
Well, let's be honest, even if one person... It's taken me 2 months to table this motion on behalf of the residents who raised their concerns. Now, you can say...
But is it one person who complained?
One person's voice, a minority's voice, should be heard.
Yeah, but hang on. Let me just read what you say in your own motion again. Following complaints from parishioners, I propose the words Little White Town are removed from all signs within the town and at the town entrances. You, Dermot McGeough, propose. Conservative group leader. It's not ambiguous. It's not somebody else or the parishioners propose or someone's doing it, I'm doing it against my will. You propose. Let's
get back to the clarity of a motion. A motion goes forward via a councillor, goes through.
Yeah.
A member of the public cannot put a motion forward, Piers.
Right, but you...
you
willingly proposed a motion.
Which I've done so in my name, because they can't put it from a parishioner.
And why did you propose the motion?
I put the motion forward on behalf because they raised concerns. I've done my job.
And what were the concerns?
The concerns was the racial slur on the town.
And why didn't you say, what a load of nonsense, if you believe that?
Well, if you go back to what I just said a minute ago, 2 months it's taken me to put this to the table. I've gone back to these parishioners raising these concerns with me. I've explained to my explanation of why it's called the Little White Town. OK? I'm a bit of a man born and bred. Why would I go against my own town?
I don't know. You're the one who proposed the motion.
I just said I've raised the concerns for them.
The only reason we're talking about this is that you proposed a motion to get rid of the Little White Town signs.
And then if you could, for point of clarity, Mr. Morgan, point of clarity, the sign's not going to be removed. They're not going to be changed.
But
Well,
no,
that
thanks
sounds
to you.
But that sounds like 2 months of wasted
Why
time.
have you wasted 2 months of people's lives
Nobody's
proposing a campaign that you don't agree with?
2 months of my lives I've actually raised onto it to put onto the town council to be debated in a proper forum.
So you just...
And the views of the town councillors was to second the motion, but they didn't have to. They seconded the motion and they felt the need to discuss it in an open forum. And
If I say to you, look, Mr. McGeough, I live in Bideford, I'm very concerned that I think everybody should be shot dead in the town.
That's not a very nice comparison.
Something extreme like, well, everyone's shot dead. Would you then propose a motion that you don't agree with, saying, I propose that everyone should be shot dead in this town?
Well, I'm pretty certain on air, sir. I'm not going to give you the views. I'd say that to you.
I think
Mr. McGeough...
I'd give you quite a passionate view because I'm passionate about my town.
You've just said that...
You're saying about shooting people in the town.
You've just said the only reason you proposed a motion you completely disagree with is because some people complained. And it was the parishioners had an idea, they wanted to get rid of the signs. So I'm taking it to a logical extension and saying, if some parishioner came to you with some other mad idea, would you then propose a motion saying that should happen? No, you wouldn't, would you?
If I feel passionate about the town and trying to defend your town, at the end of the day, it's taken me 2 months to put this motion to the table. And
How does it help your town?
Mr. McGeough,
about my town.
How does it help your town to propose a motion?
I am passionate about my town, and my job as a town councillor is to raise the views that people put to me.
I would very much suggest that in the case that Piers Morgan proposes, you would absolutely not back that motion. Just a piece of advice there.
What about shooting people?
Yes.
Oh,
I think there's a very clear answer to that. You don't need to be either...
Right,
exactly.
so you wouldn't propose it, but you were prepared to propose a motion suggesting Little White Town is racist.
I put the motion, raise the concerns. That's my job.
So my point is to you...
My job as a town councillor is to raise the concerns.
Your job as town councillor is to show some damn common sense, isn't it?
Let's talk to Rob Braddock, because he is at the Blacksmith Arms local pub. He's changed it to the very, very, very dark grey Smith.
What is going on in Bideford?
Did you
Morning,
complain?
Piers. Well, please don't go around... No, I didn't complain, but let's not go around shooting customers. We need every customer we got in Bideford at the moment.
I was taking the point to its logical extension, which is...
Unnecessarily.
If any parishioner in Bideford comes up with any outrageous thing, whether it's saying the town is racist or saying you should shoot everybody, does a councillor then just automatically table a motion agreeing with this and demanding it, even though they believe the complete opposite? It seems to me total lunacy.
Piers, to quote you on this, the world has gone nuts, hasn't it? I mean, it's been called the Little White Town for 150 years underneath Bideford. It's named that from Charles Kingsley's novel, which was called Westward Ho, which is a lovely little village not very far away from here. Great beaches, great car parking. He wrote about it when he came across the bridge in Bideford and he looked at the town, and at the time the houses were all lime washed back in 1850 and they were covered in ash to keep cholera down. So he stood at the end of the old bridge in Bideford, looked across, and he saw the Little White Town because all the houses were white. It's purely a colour. There's nothing racist about it. It's a colour just like my shirt.
Yeah.
You know, it's all been blown out of proportion. It's just nuts.
Do you have any advice for the Conservative group leader sitting next to us?
Well, he's obviously dressed a bit smarter than me, but he usually is. He is a lot older than me. But I do know Dermot very well, and he is actually a good guy. He was mayor of Bideford about 3 years ago, and he did do a lot of good. But I think this one probably is going to come back and just bite him a little bit.
On reflection, on reflection, Dermot,
keep it white.
Do you think maybe it was a bit of a mistake to table a motion proposing the words Little White Town are removed from all the signs within the town?
I've got to say, Piers, to me, that's why I said I didn't sleep very good for about 2 months to put this forward. I believe it's my job as a town councillor to put this motion forward, to represent the people.
To propose even stuff that you totally disagree with that's complete nonsense.
Well, it shows you more conviction. You've got to stand up for the people. Even a minority voice needs to be heard.
You didn't stand up to the people.
Okay.
No,
a minority
you didn't stand
voice
up to
needs
the
to be
people.
heard.
You rolled over to a few people moaning that it was racist.
I haven't rolled over. I presented it as any public forum in democracy. I put it to a town council to debate.
You proposed the motion. It was your idea.
I put it to debate on town council.
It was your idea. You proposed a motion you completely disagree with. How many times do you do that? How many motions do you propose on a weekly basis that you completely disagree with?
If you came to me with concerns, Piers, as one individual in the town...
All right, I want everyone...
So your voice isn't...
I demand that everybody in Bideford speak in a Yorkshire accent. You going to table that?
No.
Why not?
Because you don't live in Bideford.
Well, hang on, why not? If I was a Bideford resident, why not?
Piers, the question in hand in now is the motion I put
But why
forward
wouldn't you
is
table that motion? If I lived in
it's to
Bideford
represent
and I
the
wanted
public.
people to speak in
That's
the
what I've
Yorkshire
done.
accent, why wouldn't you do it?
This is what I've done. The motion I tabled, sir, was to raise concerns of residents. That's my job as town.
All right, it's a valiant defence. Thanks very much.
Is
Reid.
it?
Well,
Does anybody understand this?
no, nobody understands it, but I have to say it's a valiant defence.
Is
And
it?
Rob, thank
How
you
can
very
it be
much
valiant when
indeed.
he's- All right, well, thank you very much. I don't know what's in the water in Bideford. I've been to Bideford, actually. It's a very nice place.